Hey everybody, welcome to another Wednesday night episode of the Yard Show. With me tonight is the Albatross,
That's me. Hi.
and we are talking about Veterans Day and how it helps with reselling and or how it could help. So for the people that don't know who you are, since you've been gone for a while, I'll tell everybody about yourself and where you served and all that if you'd like to.
Whoa.
Someone's gonna add.
Profoundly underrated actor.
What? Hello?
That was me with the ad. Okay, you can continue.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay. Hi, I'm Brian. Used to be known as Albatross. Now I'm the Albatross. Served in the Army at the end of the Cold War. I got lucky with a straight up assignment out of MP school going to Field Station Berlin. Had a top secret clearance there. Did my time, shut that place down, and got moved over to White Sands Missile Range, New Mexico, middle of nowhere. After that little stint, got out. Yeah, been busy all day because I volunteer with the Warriors Canvas here in Johnson City. Helps veterans out. And I've also been running around eating at a couple of different places. And a meeting tonight for the Northeast Tennessee Ruck and Roll that's happening Saturday. So it's been a very busy day. So yeah, that's me.
Okay. Well, in your time of serving, uh, were there any things that you were able to use when we came into reselling, like for something that you were taught or whatever?
I'd probably say the biggest thing would be perseverance. You keep going. You're slammed with the books in your school. I mean, you're having to learn things in a short period of time and know them for each test so you could graduate out of the school. Same thing for basic training. Um, you don't get any breaks really. So that kind of helped along, I think. But it's just the thing of keep plugging along, keep moving forward. I guess if you want to use terms, advance the attack. You've got a goal, you set a goal, you find your steps, you do your steps, period. That's just the way the military life works. If they have a goal, they assign these certain jobs to certain people. That is their job to do, and you do it. And if that doesn't work, then you go to plan B. And you always usually have a plan B, plan C, just in case, because of the flow of tide of battle. Some people might know who Mr. Murphy is, Murphy's Law. What can go wrong? What can go wrong will go wrong. So you plan for that.
Okay, and well, you can't say skills like somebody may have language skills that they can use. Like,
Well, I did serve when I was in Berlin. I was with a field station, which was a signal intercept against the Russians. Yeah, that's not a secret. That's out there on the internet. So, and I'm sure it wasn't a secret to the Russians. But yeah, we worked around the interpreters. We worked with a bunch of people in there, but the interpreters have the language skill sets. Like me, just being in Germany, I spent more time on the economy, the local area, than I did in the barracks. That can help me out with recognizing German, even though it's been so long. I could still pick out words. So, like seeing if something's really made in Germany or what does it say in German,
seeing how you find German money.
I could kind of do that.
Okay, and with so anybody that might be coming out from Afghanistan or something like that might pick something that was here, like somebody might have brought it from the first Gulf War. They might see it and say, "Wait a minute, that's from such and such a time." Like,
Well, first Gulf War was a lot about gold because people could get it cheap then. So the locals learned about that a little bit too late, but from what I understand, they made up for it now. They charge a good price. What a, gold was pretty cheap in the first Gulf War. People were buying that stuff like crazy when they were over there.
Uh,
So,
I was just sent the message by Chad. He's on his way home, so he might get to stop in if he wants. So I'm just gonna send him a link.
you going to have that nasty MP in here? Oh, wait a minute. I'm an MP. Never mind.
And so is he. So okay. Well, what about like so when you left Germany and wherever, were you able to bring things from there that you were able to resell or that you wanted to keep?
I did have a lot of things I wanted to keep. Like I did have a collection of glasses, beer glasses. Over there, they were kind of more decorative. It had like the beer's name or the bar's name on it. I had a little collection of those, but unfortunately, during shipping, with those being glass and me not knowing how to package them up, all of them got broke. But I did bring home a bunch of gifts, and I would mail stuff back home. Just real made in Germany stuff, no matter what it is, either little knickknacks or just different things.
Well, in the comments we got Dawn and Berta Bell, and you under two different names. Not telling what the other name is.
Oh, no, I switched. Like I said, that was a mistake. I usually load a video there, then don't change it. And the first comment I have on anybody's Hangout video is that.
And oh, and that's how I Drift Daddy. So hopefully get some more viewers in the. But let's see, where can we go from?
Yeah, so we're missing Wade. We're missing Turtle Trader. Who else? Marianne. Uh, TV.
Yeah,
TV. What's her name? What's her name?
uh,
Thrifting.
treasure Vision Vintage Angie.
Yeah, Angie. That's right.
We're missing Sean. But it is a holiday, so a lot of people could be out eating too still.
You already. I had my fill of food today.
Well, like here, they're going from 5 to 9 at Golden Corral, so that's 4 hours.
I stay away from Golden Corral. Biggest thing is that it gets crowded because it is a buffet, whereas every other restaurant's like you get a meal. Well, people hang out and stick around at Golden Corral because they keep going back for more food. So, too crowded, too crowded. I'm out of here.
And we got Harley Max that wants to thank everybody who served and are serving for our great country, and I would like to do the same. So thank you, Brian, for your service.
You're welcome. And you got to remember, everybody in the military has their day. Like some people cross them for some reason. Armed Forces Day, that's for those who are serving now. Veterans Day, like today, that's for the people who have served. Memorial Day, that's for the ones who died. So everybody has their day. Is some people are nitpicky about it who've been in the military. Like if it's Memorial Day, if somebody's post up.
Joni Kramer's watching on her tablet, so she can't leave a message.
Hi, Joni. But
Thanks for watching, Joni.
some vets are picky about, like, say, Memorial Day and people putting up stuff that's supposed to be for Veterans Day. It's like, no, that's to remember the dead. That's not to remember the living. I'm not that picky, but I do kind of agree with it. Yeah. Anyways, off that tangent.
Okay. Good. Okay, this is gonna sound a little weird, and this might be a better line for when Chad gets here. But veterans, and you might be connect rest to this, may also recognize certain items that may have value. Like you were talking about the gold in the first time, but now there might be other things out there that from the Middle East that have value.
Hmm.
But they also may have certain what's the word I'm looking for? Oh yes, work like ethics or whatever, like the bomb diffusers. Like Chad might have been able to use his knowledge, or somebody else could have used their knowledge to defuse his uh what the heck was it? The grenade, not the grenade, but
A mortar, I think.
yeah, the mortar shell.
Um, yeah, if you're dealing with the old, even Chad would know this. If you're dealing with old artillery, you don't mess with it. I mean, we had plenty of that crap that was in the woods in Berlin that we trained in because of World War II. That was 40, it was about 48 years after that, somewhere in there. And we still found crap in those woods. And we just marked it and moved on and reported it. You don't mess with that stuff because it could blow. It may be a dud whenever it landed originally, but later on, it might take just a thump to set the damn thing off. That, yeah, don't mess with it.
Have you ever found anything militarized or that you would consider more military besides the clothing in the thrift stores that you go by?
That is surprising that I don't around here. I mean, that's the only thing I see are the summer BDUs or winter BDUs, which is BDU stands for battle dress uniform, which the Army changed out of. I think they're called ACUs, whatever that acronym stands for. But we have a Veterans Administration hospital here in this city, and usually veterans after town they will move to be closer to a VA. I just don't find that stuff. But apparently, over the mountain, Eric Castle can find that stuff. So I really don't know. I don't find it. I don't see it.
What about looking for like military knives or anything like that?
I do not see anything military.
Wow.
We had it was downtown called Valkyrie's. It was an Army Navy store. Well, you'd find that stuff. But that one since went out of business. And I'm trying to think, I don't even think we have a single Army Navy store in this city now.
Huh.
I mean, that would have been good for me since now I'm starting to collect things. I'm going back to my past, trying to collect patches. Let me get over to this screen, see if it's showing right. Like this patch, this is my unit patch. Now, if you minus the Berlin up here, this down would be called a usurer patch, U.S. Army Europe. But since Berlin was an occupied city, it was denoted with the Berlin up top. This one's a little bit older because it's a black back. The newer ones have they'd be kind of like green, and they'd have a glue type coating to it, uh, almost like a hot glue coating. But I'm starting to get back to these because I want to set up a box on the wall, and I'm trying to find an MP Brizard, which they don't make anymore because the current MPs only use like a little Velcro patch, and get patches for the Warriors canvas to show my service up on the wall. I'm trying to start that little tradition of everybody putting a unit patch up on the wall. Yeah, I have to go to eBay for that.
Okay. How many veterans do you know of that are disabled that might be into reselling, or with certain disabilities they can relax at home, like if they're PTSD or whatever, or something that to that effect, may not be able to go out that often, but where they can sell and send things home out.
Well, for eBay, that I personally know, none of them, because, like I said, the Warriors Canvas, we deal with that with art as therapy. So for the PTSDers and all that stuff, we're going with art. But we do allow the veterans to put their art up in the gallery and sell it that way. So it's actually more of a crafting thing. And one guy I'm talking to is a wood turner. He makes pens and bowls and all that stuff. I'm trying to get him onto Etsy. He's going to be making me some stuff that I will put on my account over there to see how it goes, to see if he wants to start his own account. So as far as reselling, no. But selling their own work, damn near all of us down there. That's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out of the volunteers, that'd be about 8 of us. Then there are 6, 7, 8. At least 10 that I personally know.
Would you see reselling not just where you are, but I mean like reselling online as a way for somebody that came back to reassimilate into the?
I would see it as, if they need the income, yes. But if they are suffering PTSD, just look at the forums, people complaining about returns and how eBay's evil. Yeah,
Well, they don't necessarily have to just have PTSD, but I mean, even disabled, somebody might have lost a leg, might have lost an arm, that could still get into selling, and like you might want to collect something, but they get the extras and know, well, I don't want to keep the extras, so
yeah, if they want to keep busy, that could be an idea for them. If they like going thrifting, if they like going to yard sales, but don't want to be a hoarder of everything that they get, well, sell it off. Or they could start buying, and I mean, if it's stuff like with the Ruck March that we got this weekend, we're also doing, was it coats for, I forgot the name of the program. It's coats for veterans, basically. But those coats, hats, scarves, socks, anything that they could wear. Well, I just went, and I got my little letter here. I cleaned out some of my old inventory, and I donated it to the VA for their clothing closet for homeless vets or vets that need clothes for interviews or for work. So that could be another way. And you get a tax letter from the VA for that. If you got a business, you could claim that as a deduction, charitable deduction, or I think you can even do it personally as a charitable deduction on your taxes. So it could pay off on the back end too.
and I want to say for some of the people, like I said, that might have an arm missing or what, that they can, or if they're in a wheelchair, use your they can use their basket. There's different materials that people can use to toward the reselling them idea if they wanted to for collecting things, carrying things, or so it's not like you have to do it all on your own. You may even find somebody that's willing to or wanting to work with you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them, if they're missing the limbs, they don't want to feel useless. You know what I mean? They don't want to just sit there. Like they show in the old time movies of the veteran who lost a limbs just staring out a window. Nah, these people want to still do stuff. So if this is one thing that they could do and they're happy with it, hey, go for it. I mean, obviously, if it was service connected, they're already drawing money from the VA for service connected disabilities. This would just be a supplement, or give them something to do. Get them out of the house.
Yeah, like another thing I was thinking about is like certain wagons. If you can't drive, you walk. Like when I walk, if you're walking somewhere, you can drag a wagon behind you or things like that.
Like me, I got the big rucksack whenever I'm walking. I load that thing up. I mean, they will find a way if they want to do it. And trust me, that's one thing. That's another thing out of the military. It's not, at least when I was in, it was not how you did the job, is the end result of what you got is what mattered. Um, as long as you completed the job, you're good.
Well,
So,
like, And some people might have problems with pictures too. And
Yeah.
you got the cameras that have shutter switches.
Yeah, if you got a timer on the camera, okay, get you a tripod, set up how you want, get your focus in, turn the timer on, click it down, and back off. There's your still shot. Because I know one of the people that does the pottery down there, he's not sure what it's from, but his hands are getting really shaky. He doesn't think it's Parkinson's, or it may be his PTSD acting up, but he still does the pottery. So now he's trying different ways to do it, of how he holds it and runs the wheel and all that. So yeah, it's adapting and overcoming to a situation. That goes back to persevering. You keep moving forward as much as you can.
Did you have any friends that you all of a sudden you want to start selling German stuff that would send you something that you can say it's from Germany?
No, I don't. I've lost contact with all of them.
Oh, speaking of Mr. Military,
Is that Chad? I can't see him.
What's up?
hey,
Dude,
Dad.
Brian, this is the first time I put this on in like over 20 years, and this was my main outfit I had when I was over in the desert, and this thing is small.
Now, I want to see the back of it. Did you slit the back so you could fit in?
It's pretty small, man. I'm like, holy cow! I thought I was like buff back then. I think now I'm just fat. Hey, here's a little trick. Remember this one, Brian?
Oh, the backwards T?
Yeah, you put the t-shirt on backwards so it has a nice line. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't care about that.
Yeah, this is small, man. I've gotten a lot small. Now instead of the patch being on right here, it's like, because it's so small, it's like almost on my back. That's messed up, man.
It's pretty bad when your shoulder patch has sweat stains from your armpits.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, this is actually the one I had over there. When I was over there, I was a specialist at the time. Yeah. And this is my MP Brizard, which that stands for military police, and that's my name, Pagel, and this stands for you don't fuck with the U.S. or something like that. One of our interpreters wrote that on there.
That one at the bottom below the MP, that says ISIS?
No, I think that's my name if I remember right. You put my name on there.
You remember that joke about the Lone Ranger learned what the word kemosabe actually meant?
No, I don't remember.
He was looking in the dictionary and he found the word kemosabe meant horse's ass.
Oh.
So that little symbol down there, you think it's your name?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, this has been up in a box, man, and I haven't put this on in over 20 years probably.
Oh, wait a minute, let me see that. What's it holding that Brizard up?
Oh, it's got a pin underneath, but we always put our rank up at the top also.
Oh. So we use those felt ones, so we kind of close-pinned it and flipped it.
Yeah, well, there's a pin on the inside also. There's a tab, but these vinyl Brizards, they made just for the desert is, I don't know.
Let's find the hottest material we could put on them.
Yeah, and then remember this? You know what this is, don't you?
Yep, for your pistol.
Yeah, pistol lanyard. I don't know how many times I was running down the street after somebody, man. My 45's dangling down my leg because it came out of my holster. But nowadays they've got the nice lock-ins and stuff like that. But we're old school.
Well, actually, I got issued those, but I never did wear them.
We had to.
We didn't have to. I was like nice small unit in Berlin. We could do what we want.
Yeah, but also if you were ever like in a tussle with somebody, because it's pinned up here, and if anybody grabbed your weapon or anything, you could feel a tug. You could feel a tug on it, and I mean, you feel that tug, you go into like fight mode, big time.
Well, in Berlin we had 45s with the nice leather flap things that took you about 2 minutes to get out.
Oh, the big U.S. cavalry flaps.
Yes.
Yeah, we had to wear those, but they finally released this, and I actually had a quick release. Uh, I mean, just a quick flip of the thumb, and it's out. But everybody's like, "What are they talking about?"
Well, at White Sands we did have the Uncle Mike's or Uncle Charlie's. They actually bought good web gear for us. So we had the locking double retention holsters.
Yeah, and by the way, I did not wear this out to eat, so
Ah,
nah, dude, you don't even want me to stand up. This thing is like open at the bottom, man. It's bad. It's bad, but I thought I'd put it on. How's it going, Chris? Sorry I crashed your show.
Well, thanks for your service.
Thank you, thank you.
I don't know how much you heard of me and Brian talking.
Not a whole lot.
Well, we were talking about various different things, like uh, how somebody may have a language access that they can use for interpreting something. Like you said, you're not sure about what it really says on your name,
Hmm.
stuff like that. Where somebody else might have that Arabic that they know, so they can find in the Arabic something in a thrift store and say, okay, I know that's worth something in Arab in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times I've come across something that, we don't understand what the language is or, what's written on it, and I think it takes kind of a skill to be able to research something like that. With German, I mean, I know just enough. I understood German so much more than I could speak it, but I can recognize stuff as far as like German stuff. I can recognize German language being spoke or written, and I'm pretty good at deciphering, as far as German. But uh, Google's great. There's a lot of translation websites and everything else out there.
so if you see it, can you know the difference between Dutch and German?
Probably not. I mean, where I was at, it was, you're in the Bavarian. They had different, like, they talk in the States, the different like slang, and down south you got one, and then up north, in New York you have different words that mean different things than what they do in the South, and that's how it is, and it's like a different dialect.
Yeah, there's different pronunciations too. Like if I say I want that there in Berliner, which is more of a northern, and it even had its own accent, it'd be pronounced Ich möchte das da.
Yeah.
If you got in Bavarian, ich is very guttural. It's like ich möchte das da. It's very back to the throat.
Right
And
on.
I had a hard time understanding Bavarians when I could understand Berliners like nothing.
Yeah, I can understand when they would be cussing us. That's for damn sure.
Oh, that's when I say, oh, I don't know German.
Yeah. Same thing they pull here nowadays. Yeah.
Like another thing we were talking about is how someone might have a hard time reassimilating into the as a civilian. So, and they may have to we're trying to let them know that you can get into selling, whether it be from your home, so you don't have to worry about going out all the time to deal with crowds if you have that issue or something due to your history.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, it takes time. You're talking about a lot of people that, have been engaged in combat. And I mean, there's just certain things that you need to work through. And, there's help out there to help do it. But I think time is a big thing, when it comes to making that transition. I don't know as far as Brian's concerned, but when I actually got out, um, it was hard because you just miss it because my life was so disciplined in the military, and being a military police, he was 10 times more disciplined than any other field in the military because I mean it's just everything you did had to be at the highest standard, and I think that just carries over into your civilian life as far as your discipline and with your you know so many people look at the veterans as being broken, and I think there's so many veterans that are super, super successful while others can look at them as being broken. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like, I mean, I don't know. I have my issues. I really do. A lot of people don't see it a lot, but I do have my issues. I have my depression, and, I am diagnosed with PTSD, but I think, especially with this community, that has really helped me. And Kim has even says she's seen such a huge change in me since I've actually integrated into the community with people. I never really, I pushed people away. I didn't really have any friends, like friends, to where, I mean, it just did not happen. So I think time and dealing with it, getting help dealing with things. But I'm telling you, being a former military person has done nothing but help me with what we're doing now, because there's that self-discipline and your standards, and I mean, it's just, you have high expectations of yourself and people around you, and sometimes that can be mistaken as like, you're an ass. What do you think, Brian?
And that's also a double-edged sword, that you can have such a high expectation, you left yourself down.
Oh, sure.
Now you're nosediving.
Oh, absolutely.
The thing I was talking about, Chris, is like, one thing, the one word would be perseverance. You always push forward. You press the attack.
Yeah.
And with the military, everybody had a job to do to meet a goal, and there was no ifs, ands, or buts. This was your job. You do it. You don't mess with the other person's job because they're doing that. And
Yeah, it was so cut and dry. It's almost like you didn't even have to think. And that's the way they do it. It's just, this is what you do. I mean, you don't question it, and that's why it's such a smooth machine.
But getting out, you're coming from a black and white world to 50,000 shades of gray.
Yeah.
I mean, people outside say, "Oh yeah, I'll do it. I'll get to it tomorrow." Then don't. But in the military, it's like, "Yes, I'll do it tomorrow," and they do.
Yeah.
It's just, you hold to your word and you do what you say.
Yeah, there's no such thing as, oh, I don't feel like getting up today.
Yeah. Sick call.
And another thing I asked Brian about, and with you being in the desert, maybe you'll be able to answer this. Did you have friends or contacts that you left behind that you could have used for something that, say you had a buyer that needed a certain thing from Saudi Arabia or Egypt, that your friend can get for you?
Well, not really. A lot of us bought, like, man, the one thing I remember from gold. Oh my God. Man, I bought so much gold. Holy cow. It was so cheap. And I mean, I was buying gold rings and sending them home to everybody and their brother. I mean, and we're not talking 12 karat. We're talking 24 karat gold. And they had breastplates. I mean, and for women would wear, I mean, and they're solid gold. Just gold was so cheap. And man, if I knew then what I know now, oh my gosh, yeah. But no, I left absolutely nothing over there except for memories. Um, we all left kids over there, that were struggling, and it's just messed up. But no, I left absolutely. I made no friends as far as Saudi, Iraqi, Kuwaiti. No. Sorry.
Well, I was just saying because somebody else might have that. So I was trying to get that as like somebody that just got back now, saying, wait, well, I had so and so as a friend. Maybe he can get me some
There's
stuff.
such a different culture. I mean, it's so different. And I don't want to get on a rant about, it's just, I mean, their outlook on women is just unbelievable in that culture. It's just, you know, a 3-year-old boy will sit in the front seat and the woman has to sit in the back. I mean, it's literally that bad. And I totally disagreed with so much of the stuff that I was. It's almost like, I can't stand you, Chris, but I'm going to fight for you, you know? And it wasn't that I didn't like you as a person. It was just I did not like the culture. I thought it was brutal. I thought it was barbaric. And it just didn't coincide with our ethics and our way of life here in America. I mean, I was biased, you know? So I thought many of them were animals, just the way they acted. I mean, and it has nothing to do with I'm not slamming on any religion. It's just a culture. It was a culture shock. We didn't want to be there. We didn't like what we were seeing, and I mean and that's the truth. That's what happens when you go to war. I mean, yeah. I mean, plus we were taught to hate the enemy. They're animals, and so what's that word called, Brian, where we're indoctrinated?
Yeah,
Yeah,
institutionalized.
yeah, and that's true. It's true.
Well, on top of that is whenever even if you're going to a regular duty assignment or being deployed, you know you're going to be leaving it at some point.
Yeah, and that was the whole key, is when you get there, because it was so bad. The whole idea, the whole threat of chemicals, you know, sucking it in, that was so fearful. I mean, that fear, I mean, people just can't understand it unless they were there, because we actually thought that there was a very good chance. And, you know, depleted uranium, and I was actually affected by sarin gas, but we did it to ourselves because we were blowing up their stockpiles. So, yes, I got exposed to sarin gas. But, I mean, it's the fear of it is just incapacitating at times. I mean, yeah.
Well, we have two questions in the chat. One, Drift Daddy asked Chad, did you, let's see, do you have pics of the gold stuff you sent back?
No, I don't. I had a little 110 camera. It was, you know, that bar camera, just a quick little, you know, take the picture, 110. And I have several pictures. I may have some pictures of some of the gold, but I know I sent a big ring home to Kim, a gold ring, and she went water skiing and lost it down at the bottom of Lake Monroe. Um, now that ring's probably 5-10 grand easy. I mean, when I'm talking gold, guys, I mean, Brian, am I lying?
Uh,
I mean,
before you got on, I told Chris about that.
oh man, I mean, you could buy a bar of gold. I mean, I can't remember how much, but I mean, it was within our budget, you know.
Within military pay budget.
Yeah, and that's not a lot.
And
Yeah.
Stephen wanted to know, how many years did you both serve?
Let's see, 88 to 90.
I just say I served a few years. Yeah.
I had a total of 12, and then I got my full retirement after 12.
Yeah, I wasn't a lifer like Chad.
Huh?
I wasn't a lifer like Chad.
Oh, I would have. I mean, it was. I was in for the long haul.
Well, that might have been if they hadn't sent me to White Sands. That I had a
Yeah.
problem with that unit.
Well, as bad as what the desert was, the country at Panama, I went down there, and that was horrible. I mean, it was so dangerous. I mean, we would have to get in our cars and drive through a part of the town, and literally you have to get up to 80, 90 miles an hour to get through, because anything slower they could pick you off. And this was in, I mean, it wasn't a war-torn country. It was the Noriega. It was just, it was bad. You didn't get close to a wood line because they'll snag your ass up and drag you in the wood line, and nobody was allowed to go in after you. Yeah, I mean, it was just, yeah.
Yeah. Another thing we talked about was your mortar.
Do what?
We talked about your mortar show because of
Oh,
somebody's past job might have been confusing those, so they may notice it ahead of time and not let their kids throw it around like a football.
yeah, you would think I'd have known better.
Yeah, you'd need a OD technician for that.
Yeah, you'd think I would know better, but I didn't.
Hey, Logan, go long.
Yeah. No, when I was in Germany, I mean, I absolutely loved it, and I wish I would have taken more, but we were young. I mean, you know, there was so much stuff there, man. I could have, like, because Kim and I, we want to take another trip over there because we could make some huge money, you know, buying stuff over there and selling it over here. We've even talked about going over there and actually filling up a shipping container and, you know, having it sent back. But yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things that I wish I would have done more of it. I wish I would have done more sightseeing. But man, them bars were awful fun on the weekends. I mean, you know, you're saying, would you rather go on a sightseeing tour? Would you rather go party at, you know, up in Frankfurt in the red light district? It's like, yeah, Frankfurt, we're taking a train. You know, I don't mean to disrespect the uniform, but it's getting unbuttoned.
And we also talked about when a vet comes back disabled, not just with the PTSD, but like literally missing an arm.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain tools that somebody might be able to use, like if they have to use a wheelchair, they use a wheelchair basket or something like that to carry their items that they might find.
Yeah, I think it's getting better as far as our like maimed vets coming back. I think that I mean, it sounds horrible, but with as many injuries as our doctors and VA have dealt with, the more they deal with the stuff, the better they get at it, and the more proficient they get at getting this artificial limb, you know, for the vet. And I don't know, as much as people talk about how bad the VA is, they're actually getting better in a lot of areas, but worse in some others. So, but yeah, as far as and the thing about these vets that are maimed or, you know, struggle in any way from their service connection, I don't think it ends up being a weakness for them, regardless. I mean, you've got somebody that, you know, that loses both legs, and, you know, he's going to rise above it. That's just the mentality, you know. And unfortunately, some just have their battles that they just can't make it, and they, you know, they give up and they commit suicide, and that is a huge thing for, you know, a lot of vets. Those are the ones that need to be reached. Those are the ones that need to be reached. But yeah, a vet, you know, and reselling, and they'll do whatever they need to do, I think, ultimately. I mean, I think that most vets will tell you, and regardless of what they do in life, if they're able to get through the issues that they have been dealing with and can start taking those steps forward and, you know, moving in life, you know, and not being stagnant, then I think once they take those steps, it'll be nothing but improvements with them. I mean, it's because that's just their mentality.
Like I was
Our
telling,
mentality.
like I was telling Chris, like these people come back, they don't want to be like in the movies where they're shoved over to the window and just sit there. No, they want to get out. They still want to feel like they're useful.
Yeah.
They need a job to do it. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what it is, just something.
Yep. It's messed up. I think perception is kind of off with. I don't know.
And
There's a lot of broken vets, but it's not that they can't be looked at like they're broken because it's within themselves. They just need some help, you know.
And
Whether it be losing a leg or an arm or their face burn off or, you know, mentally. Um, it's just, I
And-
just don't think people understand the true issues.
and I don't think any of us want pity.
No.
Reject that big time.
Yeah, it's almost offensive. I mean, because, I mean, I don't know about you, but you know, when somebody comes up and thanks you for your, I mean, I kind of feel like, yeah, you're welcome. But I mean, I don't know. It's just, and I think most vets are like that. I mean, there's always some out there. It's like an entitlement thing, you know. But I think in general, it's a matter of pride. I mean, I'm very proud for my service. I'm very proud for what I've done, where I've been, you know, and nobody will ever take that away from me, ever. And I stand on a high ground as far as that's concerned. I mean, on top of the military, being a military police, that is something I'm super proud of, and it was an achievement, and I loved it. And some people may take that as being like, you know, I don't know. What's sad is the U.S. government doesn't take care of the vets and charities like Wounded Warriors have to.
I got a problem with Wounded Warriors Project.
Yeah, it's not as, I mean, I give to them every month, but they're all these charities. Like anybody on YouTube, guys, if you watch somebody on YouTube and you take their advice, you need to look into them. Any charity, before you give to a charity, you need to look into it. The Wounded Warriors have done good things for vets. Absolutely, they have done good things. They could do more and not pocket or disperse the money in the directions that it's dispersed.
And bullying the other wounded veterans organizations.
Yeah, just for trying to remotely use the name. Yeah, that's a sad situation.
As far as the VA, I can't say I've ran into any of those problems at all, but I am in an area who has a state senator in the same city. That's Senator Phil Rowe, and he sits on the VA board, the congressional board. So this VA is in the same city as this guy. Yeah. They're watched closely. So ours is actually, from what I know of personally, is very good. I can't complain about the care I've had at all.
Okay, another question I asked Brian, and I know you're down in Florida. I don't know how close you are to the fort, military places down there. I know you got the planes fly over you, but
I can hear reveille every morning, man. I'm sitting out drinking my coffee, man, and hear this. I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm that close.
well, my question with the Brian, and he said it's hard for him, and he doesn't understand why. Is that he doesn't find too many military items in the thrift stores. Outside, not counting the clothing and everything like that, but I'm talking about like whether it be a knife or something else that might have been used.
Yeah, there is quite a bit of it down here. I don't know if you remember that huge lot of those K-bar knives I got. You remember those? I mean, there were, World War II to Vietnam era, and I made a ton of money off of those. Stuff like that. And you've got a lot of retired folks down here, and like I picked up you remember one of the old gasoline stoves you'd pump up? Got one of those from Vietnam era, brand new, never used, still in the container. And yeah, I mean, stuff like that. Yeah, you can find in clothes. The clothes is just overflowing in every thrift store here.
Yeah, I can find the clothes. It's just the other items like LBEs, knives, stuff like that, helmets, liners.
I got a bunch of it out there in my garage. I haven't even listed yet.
I just don't see that stuff. And that's the thing that was funny to me because usually the older a veteran gets, the closer they move to a VA. And it's amazing because I'm in the same city as a VA and I just do not see this stuff.
I think more of an active, if there's and I bet if you live closer to like Fort Campbell, you probably see a lot more of this stuff.
You're near a Navy base, right?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm at the largest Air Force base in Eglin Air Force Base.
You're at the Air Force base, that's right.
And then Pensacola is the Navy, and that's like 45 minutes away. So, yeah, I mean, we have it all over here.
Wow.
The only thing I see from Fort Campbell is Apaches fly over. That's it.
Yeah. Challenge coins, man. When I was in, it was rare to see a challenge coin. Now it's like they're all over the place.
See those veterans at the VA who have the jobs and this like whole plaque full of these things? I'm like,
yeah,
get all those things.
Yeah.
I have exactly two of them.
Yeah. And that was given by your like command sergeant major, for really doing something. I mean,
it's like they meant something at that point. They do.
Well, that's how AAMs and ARCOMs were back then. They were hard to get. Now it's like they dish them out like nothing, or bronze stars, and it's like, what?
A bullet was fired in anger about a mile away. Here's your cab.
Yeah.
Cab.
But no, I'm not putting down any soldiers of today by any means. It's just the policies of the military that's changed, not the soldiers.
Yeah. The military itself made it easier for things.
Yeah, yeah.
Some people get it by surprise, like, how did I earn this?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just put it on.
Yeah.
Well, Ted, you said you had PTSD. Has reselling helped you deal with it?
Well, I think dealing with, like, I don't know, like in this reselling community, there's an acceptance. I feel accepted, and it gives me like like a purpose, I guess you could say. But that's not to say I don't have my days. Trust me. Yeah, there's just certain things that I don't know. Yeah, it helps being in this community.
Well, Alvin says, Ted, you're down where there's down there where the old farts retire and die, and the heirs sell the stuff off.
That's exactly true. And it happens every day. Happens every day.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised I don't see the stuff because I hear about them dying at the VA.
Yeah.
I hear about damn near every one of them that dies at the VA here.
Yeah, but they probably live 200 miles away too.
Either that or they're doing estate sales, which I've never been to one.
Yeah.
So that could be where they are. I mean,
well, that's typically what happens when somebody dies and an estate sale happens, or an auction.
We're getting close to the hour, so we've been steadily staying at 15 viewers tonight.
Sorry, I wasn't able to like advertise the show. I was running like crazy.
Well, you told me you were going to be busy. You weren't even sure if you were going to be able.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you even popping on. I appreciate Brian popping on. And I
Well,
told
I
him,
do want to make a quick
of
point, if that's okay.
course.
You know, we've got Veterans Day and we've got Memorial Day and, you know, all this that, you know, like puts a spotlight on the veterans or the ones we've lost and stuff like that. But I tell you what, the families, the wives, the children, the mothers of the soldiers and fathers, I mean, man, there needs to be a day for them because I tell you what, to be married to a soldier or to have a parent of a soldier that, especially in today when, I mean, they could be gone for a year and a half or just dealing with, you know, a soldier, you know, a wife dealing with a husband that has lost both legs. I mean, it's just, man, the spouse and the families of these soldiers like deserve a holiday of their own, and they deserve as much thanks as any veteran because when that veteran writes that blank check, you know, so does their family. They really do, and I just think more needs to be said on that.
And when you're in the military, for those who have not been in it, military comes first, family second.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so while we're right here, I might as well just do it now. I'll thank Kim and everybody else in your family, and Brian and everybody in your family, and everybody that's watching's family that volunteered their lives when they're thinking of others take off and do whatever they have to do for their country.
Yeah, and the kids, man, I tell you what, and my boys, and if you ask Logan, it was really rough on both of them growing up. I mean, I was in and out of the hospital so much. I mean, I had, you know, surgery in my head, and I mean, it's just, they thought I wasn't going to make it. I mean, it's just, it affects them so bad. And I mean, they'll tell you to this day, I mean, it's, I feel so sorry because their young childhood was, man, it was robbed from them because they were so scared, you know, that their dad, I mean, why is dad acting like this? And, you know, what's wrong? I mean, it's just, man, it's not just the vets, man. It's the entire family that's affected, you know, and yeah.
Well, I told Brian this beforehand, Ted. I'm going to tell you now, and the viewers that are watching all, that next week I'll probably be doing a Sunday show for the next 2 weeks because, first of all, next week is my anniversary, so I'm not going to, well, I spend some time with the wife for the day. And the following week is the night before Thanksgiving, and most people are traveling to get somewhere, so.
Right on. Right on.
Then the week after that, I actually have Jason T. Smith agreed to come on for the first Wednesday of December.
Oh, right on.
And then I'll see what's going on from there, if I'm going to move back to Sundays or stay on Wednesdays. Well,
I think Wednesday's better. I mean, it may take a little while to get your view count back up and stuff like that, but man, I'm telling you, Wednesday's a good night, dude.
oh, I'm sure it is. When I realized that a lot of the loyal viewers I had on Sundays are also part of the green room, so they might go over there to watch more. so it's like, it depends. I might just stay here. As I said, I was going to take at least 2 months to decide anyways, at least.
Right.
I figure by January, the holidays are over, and then more people will be staying home.
Right on, right on, right on.
Wintertime cabin fever, people. You're going to be stuck inside.
Thanks, Berta. She said happy anniversary already. Well, if there's nothing else, you guys have anything else you want to say in regards to this Veterans Day topic about how resellers that serves might be able to help others, or
Chad touched on something earlier about thanking for your service. Every veteran's different. Like me, I pretty much joined for personal reasons. It wasn't due to patriotism or anything like that. I wanted to get the hell out of Jacksonville. I wanted to go into the Army, and I wanted to be an MP. So that was all me. So somebody thanking me for doing that is just kind of like, that was what I wanted to do anyways.
Yeah, 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 but I mean, you still did it with the knowledge that anything could happen, and you were willing to do it. I mean, dude, whenever I went in, I was too young to actually join the police department, and that was my aspiration.
Were you
And,
too young to drink?
huh?
Were you too young to drink?
Well, yeah, I was too young to drink.
That's why Germany was great.
Yeah, yeah, dude, I was 18 years old, carrying a loaded 45, drinking, yeah, all that stuff. But I needed to bridge a gap in time, So I wanted to be a police officer, so that's the route I took, and yeah, changed my life. But I wouldn't change it for anything.
And Chad, let me see if this saying holds true with you. Vets are happy when they're fed.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
We love food.
yeah. Especially now, I don't know what's happened to me because I'm blowing up like a balloon. This is messed up, man. I cannot believe this is so tight. I feel like.
Well, didn't you know that the uniforms actually shrink over time?
Is that what it is?
Yes.
It's still in mint condition. I mean, how many years ago was the
Well,
desert?
that's the old desert pattern.
Yeah, this is the chocolate chip pattern, but I mean, I've got my newer stuff that I had later on, but this is actually when I actually wore over there, and it's never been washed, so it still, I'm sure, has. Yeah. But yeah, it's never been washed.
You figure it's been 14 years.
Oh, it's been at least
No, it's been longer than.
1990, 25 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, I mean, it's in decent shape.
Now, Chad, you touched on the gold prices during the Gulf War. What are the prices like for them now?
Oh, the gold?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I've heard that they came up to standard on price.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. I haven't even checked, but oh yeah, there's a worldwide standard when it comes to gold. But it was just stupid cheap. I mean, we had guys that were like loan sharking, to people because we didn't get paid. Our money was getting deposited back home, in Germany in our bank account, and I can't even remember how we were able to get money, cash, but I can't remember.
Did you use like a paymaster system or?
I don't remember. I don't remember how we got cash. Because it's not like, I mean, dude, what you see now on TV and stuff, they have the nice, like, buildings, like these bases and stuff. Dude, we had a freaking tent, and we had no food, and as MPs, we weren't a part of a big, huge unit. So we had to fend for ourselves, and I mean, we didn't have buildings. I mean, when you're over there for 6 months, you're there for 6 months living outside. I never slept inside except one time that we went into Damar or something. There was an abandoned apartment complex, and I did sleep inside an airport that we took, and got dysentery real bad and was blowing everywhere. But all of our t-shirts, guys, check this out. All of our t-shirts, because we didn't get toilet paper, so we would tear the bottom of it, because we'd have our shirt like this, and you would see this, where our t-shirts would end up being like half shirts, because we would take strips of it and use it for toilet paper. Yeah, I mean, that's just a part of it, because the only toilet paper that you got was a little piece in an MRE. That's it. They didn't have rolls of toilet paper for us.
Yeah, the MRE toilet paper was about the size of, say, this little, I don't have one in here, the glasses cleaners that you rip open and you wipe your glasses with.
Yeah, yeah.
About that size, and you expect you to get clean with that. Like a wet nap.
We could have a whole show just talking about kind of stuff like that I don't think people actually realize, Not saying feel sorry for us, it's just kind of when we go back and think about it, it's like, Holy cow, man.
Those are our memories.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it was, as you look back on it and you laugh about it, but at the time it sucked.
Oh my God.
Like we'd have MREs that just tasted nasty, and you'd find ways to heat them.
Yeah.
What was your favorite ways to heat your MRE?
Dude, we would get so mad at, like, say we would take some prisoners and we would have to feed them. And if they were being jerks, we'd
Yeah.
give them a ham MRE, which a ham, you know, with a Muslim is like not very, they can't eat it or they won't eat it. And they will take it and throw it at you. And it's like, fine, you're not that hungry. But no, I mean, it's not all smiles and it's not all nicey nice. It's war. And, yeah, there's all kinds of little stuff like that. I had a nice little collection of war trophies that, you know, I brought back. And, but yeah, I guess that's about the only time stealing was allowed, because if you take it off of them and they're not allowed to have it, then you can either keep it or throw it away. Well, it's called a war trophy. You keep it.
But you did not mention how much gel is on the ham loaf.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it can be used for all kinds of stuff. And did you guys know that actual, you know, powdered creamer is flammable?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. You could probably go in your kitchen right now and get some powdered creamer out and pour some over a match and it'll go whoo. If you're a kid, don't go do that. But yeah, a lot of people don't know that powdered creamer is flammable.
Yeah, they learned that in prison, too, because they'd use that against us officers.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Chris, sorry, we're just babbling.
Well, that's kind of what today's about. It's learning
Well, if
about.
anybody wants to know the kind of rough stuff we dealt with, join the after show.
There you go, people. We're gonna have an after show. I was just about to ask you guys if you want to hang out.
Yeah, why not? I can do it for a little bit. I
Well,
don't want to talk about Amazon. I don't want to talk about eBay.
I tell you what, Chad, the kids today joining the military will not know the pain of the name of Kiwi shoe polish.
I know, man.
I know that.
All right, everybody. With that being said, I'm going to stop this broadcast. I'll share the link into the chat. I want to thank all 15, 16 viewers that we had tonight. And if you want to come into the after show, we'll send out the links.
Military